beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Hi, if you're new, my name is Elisa, I'm Italian born and raised, and hopefully by the end of this video you will have the answer to the question, am I Italian? So the other day I saw this video.
Are you Italian by any chance?
I'm Italian as
Can you give me 3 words in Italian?
Mangia faccia grossa.
Do you know what that means?
Feed your fat face.
Are you Italian by any chance?
I'm very Italian, from Sicily.
So you were born there?
I was not. I was born here.
Family's born there.
Great-grandmother.
Oh, nice. Okay. Can you give me 3 words in Italian?
What's the word? Vita, Vinci, or whatever it is.
Can you give me 3 words in Italian?
Io sono Antonio.
3 words in Italian. Pasta, si, casa.
Beautiful. That's good enough for me. Are you Italian?
No, I'm Sicilian. 98% Sicilian.
You're one of those, huh?
Yeah, and 2% Albanian.
Oh, all right. So, being that you're 98% Sicilian, can you give me 3 Sicilian words?
No parlare Italiano.
Oh, wow.
As you can probably guess, the comments were full of Italians going insane, saying that those people are not Italian. They shouldn't say that they're Italian. They should say that they're Italo-American. That's disrespectful towards the culture. So today, let me give you my perspective on why do Italians are so attached to this word. Why do they say that they're the only ones that they're Italian, and what's the difference between someone who's actually Italian and someone who's not considered Italian by Italians? Let's unpack it. Let's start by saying and reminding you, because I know most of you already know this, that Italians have a very ancient and complex culture. We have layers and layers and layers of cultural references, history, traditions, food, celebrations that are very unique and specific to not Italy, but the area of Italy where we're from. And we are very attached to them, whether we like to admit it or not. So Italians, I'm being very generic here. Of course, I'm not speaking for 100% of us. I'm just talking about the majority of people. For an Italian, if you come and try to override what's our tradition, what's our culture, we get very defensive, because we feel like you're trying to define what's Italian on your perspective without even being part of what we call Italian. So it's like an outsider coming in and telling us what we are and what we're not, what we do and what we don't do. I know, you really gotta be open-minded to understand what I'm talking about. For example, if an Italo-American says something that they think it's Italian, but it's actually not the reality for the people that live in Italy, we almost feel gaslit in a way, because we're like, no, that's not what's going on. That's not how things are here right now. Moreover, many Italians of like 2nd or 3rd generation, they don't even know proper Italian, because probably their great-grandparents came from a very small town and somewhere in Italy, right? So they speak dialect, and sometimes the words that they use are either mispronounced or not even like used anymore. So it's really hard for an Italian to listen to them and say, oh yeah, I say that too all the time. The reaction that most likely goes on is, no, we don't say that, and we get defensive again. And I know some of you will tell me, but Elisa, I am Italian because I have Italian blood in me. My great-grandma or my grandma, my grandpa, or some of my relatives are Italian, and so I have Italian blood in me. Well, the thing is, we don't really care about blood. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude here, I'm just explaining. We don't really care about blood. It's not something that will make us say, oh, so you're Italian because your grandma is Italian, right? It's not gonna happen. Which then leads me to the next question, which I'm sure some of you are probably wondering. So, who is Italian? Or should I say, who do we consider Italian? Because, we don't really get to define who's Italian, who's not, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to say it like that, okay? First of all, you have to speak Italian, possibly fluently. I know, this sucks, right? But for us, a big part of whether we decide if you're Italian or not is if you speak the same language as we do. So if I can talk to you in Italian and you understand me and we understand each other, it's like the first step for me, for my brain to go, oh, they're Italian. And hold your fingers, because I know what some of y'all are thinking. I don't know Italian because my great-grandma, my grandma, my grandpa did not teach me because they wanted me to speak English. And that's kind of, I mean, that's very understandable. And the reason behind this, it's often quite sad. It's because when Italians emigrated to the US, they were not really welcomed, you know? So they were often marginalized. So to be more integrated in the culture and in the country, they made a huge effort to speak English and be as American as possible, right? So that's often, I mean, a sad reason, but that's the reality of things. But this doesn't mean that you cannot learn Italian right now as an adult, right? So if you want to feel extra Italian and if you want us to consider you extra Italian or properly Italian, do learn the language. Bonus points if we speak the same dialect. Like if you tell me you're from Rome and we speak Roman, that's like top, you know, great. Number 2, cultural references. If you and I share the same cultural references, and what do I mean by that? I mean music, I mean politics, jokes, like, you know, inside jokes that you can understand if I make a joke about this country or like something that we're living, the news, or if you're a kid, maybe it's like the cartoons that you watch, it's the games that you play, the video games that you play, like, you know, we have some shared cultural references that if I make a joke about something, or memes, like if I make a joke about something that, you know, there are some things that only an Italian will understand. Like it's the same for every country, right? There are some inside jokes that only people living in that country can understand, and that's what I mean by cultural references. Number 3, daily life experience. This changes according to like the age that you're in, but like if we think about kids, is we share the same daily life experience in terms of waking up in the morning, probably around the same time, going to school, share the same classes, do sports in the afternoon, or like play at the park in the afternoon all together, and then you do homeworks, and then you have the same kind of homeworks, right? Because again, it's very much centered around school. And if you're an adult, maybe it's like going to work. Like if you're in Rome, you know how crazy the traffic is. So we share that experience together. We both know what we're talking about. Or we share the struggle of like finding a job, for example. Or, you know, anything that's like, that's similar in like different people's lives. That's really hard to explain. That's trickier than I thought. The little daily things, even the way that you make coffee, right? We, like pretty much every Italian knows how to make coffee. I've never met anyone who doesn't know how to make coffee. Like I don't drink coffee, but I know how to make coffee. Or we all know how to cook pasta, right? The Italian way, right? So these are like the daily little things that we all as a country, like as a population, we share. So to give you a practical example, I had friends in elementary school who were clearly from another country. Some of them were not even born here. They just arrived like 1 or 2 years prior when I met them, right? But they were speaking the language. They were speaking Italian. We were growing up together. So for me, in my head and in most Italians' head, there is no doubt that that person, that kid, that friend of yours is Italian. It doesn't matter what they look like. It doesn't matter if they blatantly look from another country, right? It doesn't matter. They're Italian. They speak Italian. We have the same cultural references. We share the same daily life experiences. We watch the same movies. We watch the same cartoons. We play with the same games. We listen to the same songs. We're Italian. There's no difference really, unless you're like a very right-wing. Don't want to go in there. Luckily, that's still the minority. That being said, it doesn't mean that we don't want you. We are very, sometimes secretly, proud if you have Italian descent and you are very proud of them, or like so proud of them that you're willing to reconnect with your roots and coming back to Italy and the places that you were born to. Not you, but like your grandparents or great-grandparents. We love that. We feel very proud, and it's nice to know that you appreciate Italy and its lifestyle. So even if we don't see you as an Italian, it doesn't mean that we will never see you as an Italian. It just means that we don't see you as an Italian yet. If I could give you just one piece of advice from this whole video, if you're Italo-American and you want to come to Italy and feel Italian, don't assume that you know. Because the things you know, the words you know, they might not be relevant anymore. Because your grandparents may have lived here, of course, but they lived here in a very different time. Now it's a different reality, and if you come here, don't assume that you know things about Italy. Share your love for Italian culture, Italian food, Italian towns, Italian beauty in general, and we will love you for that, and we will be so happy to explain all the little cultural stuff that we have going on in this crazy country of ours. Okay, you can go crazy in the comments now. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I know it was a bit more chitty-chatty than my latest videos. I hope you still like it. Let me know if you did. And I'll see you in the comments. Please be kind. Grazie. Ciao.